it's hitting 105 in 4th gear. Imagine if I just kept hitting it going all the way to 5th and 6th. Hey yo, what's good? It's Iron J Moto, and today we are with my 2019 Softail Street Bob, and I finally got a stage 2 cam put into my bike. To go over my setup, I have the SNS Grand Nationals, the 2-to-1-to-2 because it has the crossover and the header pipe, and the Arlen Ness Monster Sucker. I actually had it tuned for a stage 1, which actually we released an episode on Blockhead's channel for that, so be sure to check that out if you haven't yet. Shout out Sick Wide Glide and Blockhead. The numbers it was getting for the stage 1 was 86 horsepower and 110 torque. After going with the SNS 475 cam tuned by Chris, it is now getting 111 horsepower and 121 torque. I don't have the dyno sheet, so follow or subscribe to Blockhead's channel because we'll be dropping some awesome content which involves the dyno graph for this at a stage 1 and a stage 2. A few extra special things that I got when I was doing the stage 2 is Chris has a Road Glide standard which has a bunch of chrome. Obviously I've been going with the whole black and chrome vibe. He actually gave me his transmission cover and the cam cover, so I got a little bit more blingy in here. And he also had these red collars that I threw on there as well. There's so much more I want to do to the bike, so I don't want to like jump into all of my plans or, you know, stuff about my bike so far. So let's just jump into like the cam, and I'm going to give you guys what it sounds at startup, a little bit of the idle, then we'll just jump on the bike and I'll just talk about it a little bit. All right, let's hop on and go for a little ride. Woo. Dude, I love the way that my bike sounds now. It's insane. It's got like that crackle. Definitely a lot more power. All right, I don't know where I'm going, so we're gonna freestyle this. I know I mentioned it a little bit that it's a 2019 Softail Street Bob. I don't think I mentioned it was the 107. A lot of people already got the 114s or even the 117s, but man, this cam with the 107 is grunty. It is aggressive. It is mean as hell. I would definitely say working at the Blockhead Garage and seeing Block and Chris tune all kinds of cams, and I'm talking cams that fit with the stock motor and the stock valve springs. The 475 seems to always come out on top on both horsepower and torque, and the reason why I went with this cam is because it's just so aggressive. And I think one of the most important things to do when selecting a cam for your bike, selecting a cam profile that's within your riding style. And again, you could find so many videos about the 475 cam. For the most part, everybody will always say it's aggressive. That's why I chose it. I like riding aggressive. I love the way it sounds. It's got a very, very mean low and a very snap, crackle, pop kind of sound and tonality to it. I know a lot of people are going to be like, why didn't you go with the 2-to-1 exhaust, and why do you have that exhaust? And honestly, I got this exhaust for a really good deal. It wasn't necessarily my first choice, but it definitely grew on me because I love... All right, let's go ahead and give it throttle. It wasn't my first pick in the exhaust, but I got it for like a super, super good deal. And it just grew on me. I love actually the way it looks. It has like a very aggressive style, and I love the forward sweeping header pipes, which seems to be fairly unique for the Softail models. The only other exhaust that I think I found with forward sweeping headers is the Vance & Hines Upsweep 2-to-1. Hey, what's up, my guy? Hey, what's up? The exhaust also plays a big role when you're doing a cam.
just because it'll dictate where the power is delivered. Now this crossover one, how this performed, again, I apologize guys, I don't have the dyno sheet, but in all transparency, this pipe actually performed well on the bottom end with torque, but it does have a torque dip from 3 to 4K, which is, you know, one of those unfortunate things because that's the meat of where I ride, between 3 and 4K. Whereas typically with like a short 2 to 1, sometimes the mid lengths, you'll get that torque dip between 2 and 3,000 RPM. Regardless, massive gains with the 475 cam. Now that I have this cam, again, you're talking going from 86 horsepower, 110 torque to 111 horsepower, 121 torque. Now that I have this much power at the twist of a wrist, I now feel like I need better suspension and braking. Since I have the Arlen S big brake rotor, they have a 6-piston brake caliper that I think I'm gonna get in red to match those little brake collars that I have on the pushrod tubes. But I also want to get better suspension. I want to lift the rear, I want better in the front. You have all this power at the twist of a throttle, you just really feel the bike just sway all crazy, especially when I'm braking too. It's a big dive in the front, so I definitely want to upgrade the brakes and suspension now that I'm kind of at this point in my bike build. But yeah, if you ask anybody who has experience with the 475 cam, they'll tell you it's an aggressive cam. It's a very on off. I even stuttered. Like, it's a on and off cam, man. It definitely does its job, and it's freaking awesome, man. With this pipe, lots of low end torque. Although I have that torque dip between 3 and 4,000, I still have all that play below 3,000 that just is a get up and go, launching the bike. I mean, it definitely could send this thing into an instant burnout. Not that I even had an issue before doing a burnout with just the stage 1. It's like I don't even have to rev it as high, and I just freaking drop the clutch and this thing just starts spinning the rear tire. I'll show you guys a little bit of this bike carrying itself on the highway. Obviously locally, plenty of power to just get you in and out of traffic all the time. Let me put the visor up. I cannot get over this sound. That is in 3rd gear. I could pop it in the 4th gear and it'll still have power. Jeez. I'll even pop it in 5th. Oh man, it don't matter what gear you're in, you're always gonna get instant power delivered. Hey, what's up, brother? This is just a different bike, man. And the best part about it being the Street Bob 107 is the bike is a lot lighter. I mean, I'm lighter too. I mean, I'm only like 130 pounds or something. I used to say 125, but I definitely weighed myself the other day at Publix, and yeah, boy, gained a little weight. But having that much power, and then considering the weight of the bike, it definitely will pull like crazy. Versus some of the other models in the Softail lineup that have a little bit of a weight difference. The Fat Bob, the Lowrider S, the Lowrider ST, stuff like that. Let's jump on the highway. I'll drop it in the 3rd once we kind of get with traffic here. All right. Woo! Obviously, if you're gonna get on the highway, plenty of power if you downshift and just full throttle it. Just at regular cruising speeds on the highway, this thing is super loud. I almost consider putting the dB reducers back in the exhaust. 6th gear, 3,000 RPM, just cruising, and it's still very grunty. But even if I pull the throttle, it's got plenty of grunt and power to deliver still. And that's just being in 6th gear. Like, I shouldn't even be in 6th gear right now. It's just clear, if you guys haven't noticed, that if you're cruising around in town, light to light in the city, plenty of power, plenty of sound to piss off all the neighbors, plenty of sound so everybody around you knows you're on a motorcycle and to watch out. Yeah, I'll even cruise at 4th on the highway. So that's cruising at 4th. I mean, that's hitting 105 in 4th gear. Imagine if I just kept hitting it going all the way to 5th and 6th. Versus when I had my bike at a stage 1, it felt like it was just lacking the climb. You would be full throttle and it would just be like, now, you know, like I said, we'll pop it in the 4th gear and we could hit 105 pretty easily. Got my shirt flying up. You guys can't even see it. I should have wore like a vest or something, but yeah, I mean, that was 4th gear just hitting, I don't even know. I think I saw like 115 or something. It's a pretty nasty 107 street bob with the 475 cam. I like a bunch of low-end torque, to be honest. I can care less about top-end horsepower. I like cruising around town. I like doing burnouts. I like doing a bunch of stuff at like low gears, high RPMs. I can care less about going 150 on the highway, but that's just me. And this cam gives you, honestly, the best of both worlds. You get all that added torque. You get the horsepower. I've seen people get the 465 cam or a torque cam, and although they get torque, they dramatically lose on that horsepower end. So they end up just switching to the 475 or something similar. I guess drop your comments below about torque cams. Like, are you actually happy about it? Do you guys have friends who have any experience on it? Because I feel like everybody who gets a torque cam ends up just being really disappointed because they can get to where they're going pretty fast, but then it just stops and drops. Whereas this, you guys can see, I have all that torque on the low end, but even on the highway, we can just keep the throttle pulled and it just keeps, that's the horsepower carrying us all the way through. Oh my God, man. Love this thing. Big shout out to Chris, Sick Wide Glide. He's just a genius at what he does when it comes to tuning and installing. Obviously, his years of experience show. Big shout out to Blockhead. Obviously, I work there at the shop. Definitely hit us up if you want your bike serviced at the shop. Hit us up at blockheadgarage.com, fill out the form. It'll get you in touch with me and I'll get you on the schedule, man. We'll build you out based on your riding style and get you set up proper. And most importantly, we'll have Chris tune your bike, which in my opinion, I feel like is like finding a doctor, man, or like a surgeon. The things he does, the experience he brings to the table really make a difference when it comes to tuning your bike. Shout out to Freddie, because I'm going to the barbershop that he recommended, which I know is just somewhere around here, so I got to get off and map it. Thank you guys for watching. Again, please subscribe to my channel. Comment below if you have any questions. Comment below if you have a 475 cam yourself, and let us know what you think. How do you like it? Did you like something else? Do you have something else? What's your experience with, you know, stage 2 cams on stock motors? Nothing with like bigger displacements. I'm talking stock valve springs on a stock Milwaukee 8 motor. That kind of wraps it up. Hope this video made sense. I'm just riding and talking. But till next time, guys, catch you on the next one. Peace.